Hey, welcome. This is a little live tree walk here. This is Sam Erman with Friends of Trees. I use he, him pronouns. And I just wanted to take the afternoon to kind of walk around my neighborhood, look at some trees and kind of chat about Friends of Trees and just provide some good kind of tree viewing content to you in the comfort of your own home, the safety of your own home. You know, viewing trees for at least 5 minutes a day has been shown to reduce stress, boost immune system function. And so I just wanted to bring you some tree viewing live from my neighborhood to your, the comfort of your own home. So welcome. I'm walking around Southeast Portland. I'm going to look at some trees today. And at any point, feel free to drop a comment, ask a question if you'd like. And if you'd like to join me on full screen or on split screen, it looks like Facebook has released the function to do so. So if you send a request, I will pick up. So thank you so much for joining me. We have some really fun trees to look at today. And the first that I'm next to, walking around and when thinking about what kind of trees to look at, I just could not believe how beautiful the flowering dogwood are right now. And I'm standing next to two relatively young ones here. And these flowers are just so large. We saw earlier this spring, the pink dogwood flowers were really beautiful and popping off, and what I always like about as the spring progresses is all these new flowers that come out, and these white dogwood flowers are definitely one of them. These are some newly planted dogwood here, flowering dogwood. I believe Cornus, Florida. I'm not too sure, honestly. But if you know the Latin, let me know. And I'm going to kind of continue walking and just chat some trees here. So at any point, I'm gonna put up my my face mask if I get too close to anyone, and just to keep myself safe and to keep people safe from me. And then we'll kind of proceed. So I'm going to flip the screen around. We can see this little row of dogwood, and then we'll see this canopy of the next tree that I thought it'd be cool to look at as well. And hopefully maybe someone that's watching knows what that is. So here are these dogwood. Does anyone know this big tree by its shape, by its size? I bet you would by its leaves. And so as we get closer, just kind of look at this tree, and I'll get some leaves just so you can see as well. So as I'm walking, I'm just going to point this at this tree. Viewing trees for at least 5 minutes a day has been shown to reduce reduce stress and boost immune system function. So those are all kind of really amazing things that trees provide for us. So as you can see, these leaves are large and heart-shaped, and it is none other than the catalpa. So this is a lovely tree. If you tuned in last week, you heard our interim executive director, Whitney Dorer, talk a lot about catalpas. And as I was walking around, I just couldn't help but be amazed by this catalpa. So if you look up, you can see we have these big heart-shaped leaves. We have this kind of like scaly bark. It's almost like a rattlesnake in texture. And you can see these big kind of heart-shaped leaves as well. And that's a catalpa tree. I'm just going to take a moment to look at the canopy so you can really take in the beauty of this tree and its leaves. What a beautiful day. I'm so excited to be out here walking around my neighborhood with you all. It is truly such a treat of a day. It's warm. And so this next tree, it's actually a shrub, and I believe this is a kind of like a landscape variety. But what we're looking at here is an elderberry, and I believe it's a black elderberry. I think black lace. And like I said, it's an ornamental. We do have native red and blue elderberries. This one's ornamental, but it's just really, I was really blown away by the flowers that are coming out right now, so I wanted to just make this a stop. And you can see it has these like black purpley leaves, and then these really, really pretty purple white flowers, which I'll just zoom in on. All right, and that is an ornamental elderberry. I believe black lace is the name, and it's a great one. So okay, so coming up next, we have none other than silver birch or European birch. This is a really interesting tree. I grew up on the East Coast. We have a lot of birches there, and so I have a very close fondness for birch trees. This silver birch, we find them a lot that were planted here. They are in the wild. They're introduced and can be a little invasive. Though in the city have made great street trees. Though one big issue that we're facing now is a pest, which is the what is it called? Bronze birch borer. And this is something where a lot of our birches in the Portland area, we have the bronze birch borer here, and the borer really takes out these trees. So if you have a birch or see birch that don't look healthy, or I believe they do produce a lot of sap. They have been called like a bleeding tree, especially if you prune them in I believe the spring. They will lose a lot of sap, though I have heard of the fallout from the bronze birch borer as also being a very like sappy thing as well. So if you ever see an unhealthy birch, it could be the bronze birch borer. Though it's always nice to see a really nice healthy looking birch around here and in the neighborhood. So that's great. I'm just going to focus on this for a second just so you can get some tree viewing in. As discussed and as mentioned, just viewing trees has been shown to reduce stress, boost immune system function, both of which, I don't know about you, but I definitely and will take all that I could get these days. in the age of pandemic and social distancing, these benefits of trees, I'm really relying on them for kind of like relaxation and health. So and that's actually one amazing thing. We talked a lot about this in other live videos that we've made, but I really have been using this time to explore my neighborhood and also brush up on my understanding of trees, like greater understanding of trees, and kind of like how I relate to them in my daily life at home. And they really have served as a source of inspiration, of like I said, health and relaxation. So I encourage you to do the same. It's we may not be able to go into the our favorite parks or natural areas or wherever, or maybe we can. but if you're staying close to your home, as recommended, then our urban canopy really is rich and diverse and provides a lot of opportunities to be outdoors and view trees. So I encourage you to do that and to walk around your neighborhood and look at trees. So I actually got my information as far as before going out on these walks. I look at the city of Portland did a street tree inventory a few years back, and all of the trees in neighborhoods in Portland are all documented on the internet. So that is something that I'll post in the as a follow-up to this video. But it is a really cool thing to kind of look at, where you are, maybe like around your house, and identify trees, and then walk and see if you can find 10 of those trees that you looked at. So it's a pretty cool thing. So I'm going to keep walking here. Thank you all for tuning in. Those just joining, this is Sam Erman, Corporate and Business Relations Specialist with Friends of Trees. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm just here kind of giving you a little bit of tree viewing in my neighborhood, identifying trees, talking about trees, answering any questions that you have, and I'm excited to bring you this next one. So here we are. I'm gonna flip this around. We are at this golden rain tree. which does extremely well in urban environments. This is one that is drought tolerant. It could handle pretty alkaline soils. It really is adapted very well for cityscapes and city environments. So this is a golden rain tree. I will say that they are a little aggressive in the fact that they spread, and you can see that by just looking right over here. There are all these little golden rain trees coming up. So that's the one thing to take note, is if you are interested in golden rain tree, they are a little aggressive as far as spreading, though are really adapted to thriving in urban environments. And like I said, that's they're drought tolerant. They are grow well in poor soils. They are not really affected by air pollution. They're really great ones. Though they are kind of aggressive, and this is not one that I would plant in a natural area. So that's the golden rain tree. Let me flip this around. They have these beautiful yellow flowers, these long yellow flowers that kind of hang down and are great for pollinators. So that's some amazing things. And look at this canopy. It is wide and lush. And I'm just going to kind of focus on it for a second. Great. Okay, cool. So on to our next few trees. So actually we're gonna cross the street, and I have this young magnolia, which here's another one that looks like this has not yet flowered, though is about to. Let's see if we can see some of these flower buds. And yeah, you can see right up here, these flowers are about to pop off, and they're gonna be so beautiful. So this is a magnolia. Another one, as we saw that dogwood earlier, this is another example of, some magnolias really are early spring and flower and provide us with a lot of early spring color, which always for me is oh my God, welcome to spring. We're out of the winter, it's great. And this one in particular is gonna flower later, and you can see that these flower, you can see that they're about to pop. So that is pretty neat, and I'm looking forward to that when it happens. So next we have another birch, silver birch, or European birch, kind of also known. This one, there are different types of European birch. This looks kind of like a weeping birch as far as the leaves hanging down and kind of in this weeping shape. And for those of you just tuning in, we were talking about the bronze birch borer and earlier, and kind of the risk that they pose to our birches here. Though the bronze birch borer is native to North America, and these European birch are not. So that is an interesting thing, and something about introduced trees. But as you can see, this white peely bark, I'm from the East Coast. This is a very nostalgic bark for me, just because I grew up in a place with really kind of birch dominant forests. And yeah, it's pretty neat. So this one's looking pretty good. The bronze birch borer, is here, and it does kind of threaten these trees, though it's always nice to see some really nice healthy ones doing well. And here's a non-healthy one that I wonder if that was a product of the borer. So interesting to see side by side. So next we have this other large heart kind of shaped leaved tree. These long pods, does anyone know what it is? It is another catalpa, and there's actually two of them here. And how big, how beautiful. They really are amazing trees. Okay, great. So welcome, those of you just joining. This is Sam Erman, Corporate and Business Relations Specialist at Friends of Trees. I use he, him pronouns. I am just here walking around my neighborhood, bringing some tree viewing content to you. You know, viewing trees has been shown to boost immune system function, reduce stress, and those are all things that I know that I need during these times. So I just want to create an opportunity for you to view some trees, kind of explore trees of our urban canopy, and maybe give you some inspiration to go and do a little tree walk of your own around your own neighborhood. Potentially you are already. You know, I think it's a great way to pass the time and to kind of be in nature close to home. And okay, so for our next one, we have this crab apple. Which crab apples, you know, this is a beautiful wide crab apple, wide canopy. So something that's really interesting, crab apples are really like a loose term to any kind of like wild apple. So it is an apple, it's a malus. And you know what type of crab apple this is, I'm not entirely sure. But you can see they have these like reddish green leaves. They are alternate. And let's see what else we can glean. You can kind of see some little fruit on there as well, if you look closely. It really is beautiful with the blue sky and these shades of red, orange, and green. This crab apple really is a beautiful one. You can see the growth pattern of this is kind of interesting because it is shooting up a lot of new branches from this branch, kind of like these little suckers, and making it a really kind of like interesting tree shape in the sense that it really grows in to be really dense and wide. So other trees, you know, especially like if we take a look over here at this catalpa, it is, you know, you can see the branches. And they're in a very distinct shape. And then if you look at this crab apple, you can hardly see through there. There's all these new shoots coming up. So that's really interesting to see and to look at. And yeah, some beautiful roses as well. Great. Well, does anyone have any questions? Are you having I hope you're having a good day. I hope everything is going well. One tree actually that we're next to now, you know, the inventory said it was a honey locust, though I always think of honey locusts as having these huge thorns, and I don't see that. So let's take a look. As you can see, we're back at these catalpas. Beautiful, beautiful leaves. Great. And so that kind of wraps up my little tree walk. I hope that you have enjoyed yourself, gleaned some new knowledge. We're doing this every Wednesday. It'll be me or another member of the Friends of Trees tree team walking around, kind of looking at trees, giving a little bit of tree education, as well as providing just that opportunity to view trees. So thank you so much for joining in. It has been such a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you soon. All right, enjoy the sun.